Hey guys, it's April 14th, 2018. This is Kyle. It is Saturday morning at about 6 o'clock a.m. where I am. And I'm going to attempt to make a video just kind of updating things. My body, just at every moment, I'm like, I don't know if I can go another 5 minutes. This morning, I try not to sleep. I'm a little bit concerned about going to sleep because my attackers really use the remote neural manipulation. They fire upon the counter frequency CD that I have, and I have thick layers of aluminum around that, around Dave Case's CD, which really works. I mean, it really works to kind of stave off the biorelevant feedback loop, the radio. I guess the simplest way to put it is the radio receiver relationship that our attackers have with their equipment to our brain and our nervous system. I do have to say, a lot of people have, I really had a plan for how to make this video, but I knew, I'm going to have to start writing stuff down if I ever want to make a coherent video, because my brain feels mashed in. It feels like a blowtorch has been held to my head and my neck. And then when I woke up, it felt like somebody had basically broken my back. And this wasn't through external shots. This was through remote neural manipulation to my brain and my nervous system. And they were shooting pain signals down my back. So this is how dangerous this technology is. And I completely forgot what I was talking about before that. Woke up at around, it was like 5:15 a.m. It was about 5:15 a.m. and I couldn't move because the pain was so bad. The pain throughout my body and my back and my neck and my head. And then I had stinging high-pitched sound to the sides of my head. And I screamed. I didn't know what time it was because yesterday I fell asleep at about 1 o'clock p.m. in the afternoon. It was Friday at 1 o'clock p.m. where I am. Usually when I go to sleep, I'm sleeping 6 to 8 hours, and it's not really sleep. It's directed dreaming and torture, and they're hitting my genitals and using the remote neural manipulation. It's usually a fight. I'll put Dave Case's CD in its own little bunker, and they'll hit it because I'll feel the energy beam trying to hit that CD, and it'll skip a little bit, then it'll keep going. If I have the CD, and this is just a point I want to make about using aluminum. It really does work, because if I have the CD, say I'm going to walk Pepper, my dog, and I put the CD in my leather jacket, they can just hit it with directed energy weapons, and they hit the CD player with directed energy, and it just stops. And then I have to if I turn around real rapidly, it'll start for another couple of seconds, then they'll hit it in a certain spot. I'm pretty sure they're hitting that little eye inside of it that reads the CD. I think they're hitting that and just stopping it. If I put it in that little aluminum bunker, they can stop it for a couple of seconds or a minute, and then it'll keep going. So last night I put more aluminum on it, and the aluminum foil does really block a lot of these frequencies. I have to use it to block that CD, but anyway, I woke up. Okay, so I went to bed at 1 o'clock p.m. and woke up, not 12, 16 hours later, which was very unnatural. I don't sleep that long, but I'm not sure, because I'm trying to stay up as long as possible, 24 hours. I'll stay up 20 to 24 hours, because I know that when I go to sleep, my body's going to be mutilated even worse. And I woke up about 5:15 in the morning and just started screaming because I couldn't move my body. My body was shaking, and my back felt like it had been broken, and there was heat going through it. My head felt like it had been like somebody had taken a bat and just constantly been hitting my head with a bat during the night, and I just like screaming like I was being murdered, because I am being murdered, because it's horrific. They're murdering the fuck out of me to where I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna wake up. And so, I mean, I 6 times screamed as loud as I can. This is like 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock to 5:15 in the morning, somewhere in there. And nobody gives a shit around me. If they do know what's going on, they definitely don't give a shit. Now I'm just screaming because I'm being murdered in my home, and I wake up and I feel how much pain I'm in, and I just started screaming like at the top of my lungs, like just not screaming words, just screaming as if I'm being murdered, because I am being murdered. And then I just, I realized that this is going on all over America and all over the world. People are just being brutally, brutally murdered. And, everybody's like, oh, well, I don't think that exists, or something like that. Whatever, cowards and, people, it's coming to them. I mean, it's coming to them next. So these people who are hitting us with microwaves, they're creating a system and a better protocol for it to stay hidden, so that then they can be killed. Suicidal, these people are suicidal cult members. I knew I was going to do this. I was just going to get off track. I really, I can't make a coherent video right now. My brain, literally, there's so much interference to my brain that it's hard to, it's hard to, unless I'm just talking about one thing and I'm going to talk about this one thing, to just stick to it. If I'm trying to jump from topic to topic in some kind of rational way, it's gone. I'm going to try and not be so, I'm going to try and be not so, depressing during this, but it's depressing. This is basically cult thinking turned into a business, turned into a business of genocide and torture, to murder innocent citizens all around the world. And each country has their military-industrial complex working on these directed energy weapons, silencing the media because these weapons are covered under national security. So first they, start murdering, innocent citizens with the weapons, the weapons in question. And then if anybody ever wants to talk about them, they're like, no, that's national security. We're still going to murder these people with them, but it's national security, so we've got to protect these weapons. We've got to protect the capabilities of these weapons and the research on these weapons, not the citizens, not the innocent citizens that are being butchered while they sleep. We've got to protect the weapons. We've got to protect the secrets. We're protecting the secrets, and, we can kill as many people as we want, with these international contractors. Some of these, the contractor that I am like 90% sure that's doing it to me, they're stationed in Australia and in England. So a lot of these contractors doing this, they're international contractors, which kind of makes me question the whole. I don't know how it all works, but it makes me question competition, like competition between Russia developing these weapons, China developing these weapons, and the U.S. developing these weapons, and competing and not sharing. Because if I went to Russia as a target individual, Russians would be gang stalking me. I would still be getting hit with weapons, maybe by a contractor who's international, who's stationed in both the United States of America and Russia. So it makes me really question, that there's any competition. How much cooperation, how much competition between countries in the world doing this. Like, how much of this, like, we're totally against Russia, is true. I don't really want to go into that, because I don't. It's a like totally complicated issue. I guess I'll just talk about. I want to document how horrific my murder is right now. These people murdering me, and I don't feel like I can just call the police. Like, when I woke up and it's like bloody murder, I can barely. It took me an hour to get up, to like lift myself up, and when I get up, when I get up and try and get out of my bunker, I'm like shaking. I'm like literally shaking, like shaking and shaking to like build up some kind of adrenaline that I have left to get out of my bunker and like start walking around. Like it's like I have to adrenalize to do that, because I can't calmly get up out of bed and stuff like that. I have to get up from the damage that's being done to my body and my brain. I literally have to like, okay, like get the adrenaline going on. This is a nightmare of just proportions which I never imagined in my life. You know, I had Crohn's disease when I was 10. That was a challenge, but the whole community was behind me. My parents knew what was going on. If the community knows about a problem, then it's a challenge. And tragedies happen, but if people know exactly what led to them, you know, that's life. This is injustice. This is injustice and like Nazi Germany shit, and you know, Mao Zedong's China shit, and the Russian Revolution, like genocide, but it's worse because instead of just mobs of people getting together and murdering a bunch of people to, you know, make communism stronger or make a united Nazi Germany stronger, this is for money. Like, people are getting paid lots and lots of money to murder people and to never stop murdering them. They cannot take these weapons off of us. And there's a lot of reasons that Brian too talks about, which I agree with, because we could come back and sue. We could, you know, get our heads together and then we can sue. Also, they don't know what's going to happen when they take these weapons off of us. We could be a loose cannon. This could, you know, we could snap one day or something like that. But I think that it's more of that whole discrediting us as mentally ill. Like if they did 50% of target individuals, they target it for like 5 years and they stopped. You know, then it would be like, oh, well, these people they were being shot with weapons. Now they're speaking out about it. We'd be a lot more credible. I listened to a show. I listened to one of Ryan's late night calls, and Dr. Matthew Aaron was talking on the call about, you know, a documentary from the Travel Channel was interviewing him, and he felt like he felt like the things that he was saying that there was more credit lended to them because he had been attacked in Canada and it stopped. So he's no longer being targeted, and he felt like people were listening to him more because of that. So that's why I think that they don't stop, because we would be credited with like, this thing happened to me, now it's not happening to me, and we're talking about it, and all these people saying this has happened to me and then it stopped happening to me, people would be listening more. But since this never stops, while I'm sitting here talking to you, like if I'm sitting there talking to my psychiatrist, I'm being targeted. Like, I'm being targeted in her office remotely. So it flows into the propaganda of mental illness a lot easier because of that. Just some random thoughts about that, but I really think that that's a huge reason they never stop. They never stop because we would get a lot more credibility if this was done for a couple of years and then it stopped, and then we could testify and, you know, this did happen to me, you know, but now I'm okay. Now nobody's targeting me. You get a lot more credibility that way. I'm just going random things in my head, which it's not great right now, but I just want to keep making videos. I tell other people we've just got to get information out there, no matter how badly our communication and our thinking is being just bashed in by these murderers. Like, murderers, they're murderers. They're slow murderers. They're the worst murderers in the history of the world. They don't even mercifully kill. I mean, these people microwaving me, they're Americans, or they consider themselves Americans, which I don't consider them Americans, but they don't kill you. They just make you feel like you are going to die in about 5 minutes. You have no sense of, what's the word for it? Sense of well-being. Like, I remember having a sense of well-being, you know, before I knew I was targeted. where things are good. I can sit here and enjoy playing a video game, or I can enjoy going out with my friends, and life is pretty good. I got some bills and